Hi, so I just filmed this entire video, but it ended up being 20 minutes long. So I want you to let me know if you would watch a tag video that was 20 minutes long. I'm going to do it again and try to do it really quickly, but I just feel like the answers are going to be very, cut down and not interesting because it's no fun to be like question 1, question 2, and just show you the books. I don't know. But I'll try to do it again, and we'll see how it goes, but let me know if you want to see longer videos like that, because I know I get bored watching longer videos like that, and it's because I ramble like this, so shut up. Number 1 is The Rambler Rose, a long read with multiple main characters and plot lines. It twists, turns, and puts on a show with language. I chose Death Note, which is a manga by Tsugumi Oba, and the art is by Takeshi Obata. This is about a guy who finds a notebook on the ground and finds out that he can write people's names in it and they die. I chose this for the question because this book is almost 400 pages long. It's 380 something, I think. But there are 6 of these volumes. So it is quite long. So it's a long read. It has multiple main characters. That's another thing that kind of bugs me about this book or this series, is that it has a ton of characters. Anyway, let's move on. Hybrid Tea Rose, modern and long-lasting, a collection of memorable 20th or 21st century poetry or short stories that stay with you for a long time. I should have gotten my books ready again when I did this. I picked poetry collections for this question. One is T.S. Eliot. It just says selected poems. This has The Wasteland in it, which I adore, as well as The Love Song of J. Alfred Prufrock, which I know a lot of people like. I also picked A Thousand Mornings by Mary Oliver, which I've talked about before. It just has an interesting mood to it, and I've talked about this before, about how you just feel like you're on the beach and the sky is gray and it's not miserable hot, it's just, maybe it's a little breezy and it's just nostalgic. I really like it. I also mentioned in the video that I've already filmed, what's it called? The Lottery by Shirley Jackson. There is a collection of her short stories that includes The Lottery that is called The Lottery, which is the only collection of her short stories that was published during her lifetime, so that's interesting, and those really stick with me. I really like Shirley Jackson. Number 3 is Lilacs, a seasonally inspired book that you look forward to revisiting every year. I am not in the habit of rereading books, which I probably should be, because there's a lot of books that I didn't like when I first read them that I think I might like if I reread them. But so since I don't have many rereads to choose from, if any, I chose The Little Women by Louisa May Alcott, because I tried to read this for during this past Christmas season, because at the beginning of the book it is Christmas, and they're doing some Christmas play or something. I don't know if the theme of Christmas persists throughout the book or not, but I just thought it would be fun. So I'm going to read this Christmas, as well as A Christmas Carol, because I'm a loser and I've never read it. So, number 4 is Bleeding Heart, a beautiful dark work that broke your heart. I don't care if you're tired of hearing about it. This is my favorite book, so I'm going to talk about it again. The Goldfinch by Donna Tartt. This is heart-wrenching because this guy's life sucks so much. And I don't think Donna Tartt overdoes it, because I think a lot of people felt that way about A Little Life, that, his life was just too sad to even believe it. I don't feel that way about this book. It is long and boring, but I like long and boring books. It doesn't have much of a plot. It is very character-driven, but I really like it. I also went to Goodwill today and found a hardback edition, and it was the best day of my life. Anyway. Queen Anne's Lace, number 5, a work that is sometimes seen as a weed, but that you see for what it is, great literature. I'm going to talk about this for number 7 too, so just hang with me. But I feel like people talked about John Steinbeck a lot when I was in high school, and I graduated in 2012. Maybe it's because he's assigned reading for high school or something, or maybe it's just, he's just high school level. I don't know. But I just feel like a lot of people are not excited about Steinbeck anymore and treat his books as like kind of like Wheeze, you know, like, yeah, I mean, I've read Steinbeck, but you know, whatever everybody has, it's not that good or something. You know what I mean? It's just how, I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Forget Me Not, An Early Bloomer, a work you read early in life and will never forget. Where is it? I've talked a lot about children's books that I've read on here, but this I actually read in middle school. It's called The Chocolate War by Robert Cormier. It is about a boy who goes to a Catholic school. I don't know if it's middle school or what, but he goes to a Catholic school and they do a yearly fundraiser, and he refuses to participate in it, which sounds like not a big deal, but it's one of those things where like you just do it, you know, especially at a strict Catholic school, like you just do it, it's what you do, and he doesn't. And it's a lot like Steinbeck in that it's kind of slow, and Cormier and Steinbeck both take a lot of time to describe the scenery, and so it just feels like more of an experience, you know what I mean? It's not a bunch of plot and action and stuff. It's just like, it's just really nice. And whenever I read a book about, or whenever I just think about the New Jersey area and like Catholic schools and really tall apartment buildings that are really close together, that makes me think of these kind of books, because that's like what he talks about all the time. Number 7 is going to be Steinbeck again, and it's Pansies, a classic that's losing popularity. Once upon a time, everyone had them in their garden/library, but now they're being replaced with Begonias. I just feel like people aren't excited about Steinbeck anymore. I won't say too much because I've just talked about it, but I feel like he's being replaced with other authors that people are a lot more excited about. I don't have any examples off the top of my head, but I hope you believe me. Number 8 is Trillium, native to North America. In some provinces and states, it's illegal to pick these a banned or challenged book. I'm ignorant, so I had to Google a list of banned books because I just don't know any banned books, you know what I mean? But I was surprised to see this book on the list, because at first I was like, why would Candide be on there? It's Voltaire. It's Candide by Voltaire. I was like, why would Candide be on there? It's a comedy, it's hilarious, it's stupid. But then I realized that a lot of the comedy is making fun of his government, so, which kind of sucked. His government kind of sucked. But it's hilarious. It was written in the 1700s, so I thought I was going to have trouble with it, but I read it for class not long ago, and I really enjoyed it. It was hilarious. Number 9 is An Orchid, a work that was as challenging to read and maintain as an orchid. For that, I chose The Portrait of a Lady. When I mentioned earlier about rereading, I think I need to reread this one because I was reading it for a class that we had to do a ton of reading for. I think the first book we read in that class was The Rise of Silas Lapham, which I really enjoyed. And you know how like at the beginning of the semester you have tons of energy and you want to do everything, and you know, syllabus week, and you know, you're just sure you're going to do a great job, and then by the time you get to Portrait of a Lady, you're like, no. No. So I didn't even read the whole thing, you know what I mean? Like continuously the whole thing. I just read important parts. So I probably need to go back and reread that. And it was hard to read for me because it was so rambly, and there would be paragraphs that lasted for entire pages because we read the original version, the first edition, I guess, because a couple later after that was published, he went back and edited a bunch of things around and edited down and whatever. So maybe I should read that version, but whatever. We'll see. Number 10, and the last question, is A Fern, a book that sparked your initial interest in a topic before sporing into a whole TBR of books on that topic. And instead of doing like just a topic, I did an entire like genre, if that makes sense, of graphic novels. And my friend Amy was letting me read her New 52 Batman books, because I really wanted to get into like superhero comics. And so she let me do that, and then we were at Barnes & Noble together, and long story short, that sparked an interest in graphic novels. So quickly, I think the first one I read was The Wicked and the Divine, which I think I picked up because I'd heard a lot of people talk about it, and it was only $10, which I felt like was pretty cheap. And that is pretty much the theme with Image, is that the first edition, the first volume of anything is $10, and then from thenceforth it's usually $15. But I read Wicked and Divine. I liked Sex Criminals. Got into Saga and really liked it. I'm really enjoying Lazarus right now. I finished that copy, but for most of these I've read the next volumes, but I haven't continued in Lazarus yet. This is not Image, but it is good. It's Ghost World. It's FB. I don't know what that is. It doesn't say. Yeah. Sorry, it doesn't say what it is. It just says FB. I liked that. I know it's also a movie, but I haven't seen the movie yet. And I also liked Blue is the Warmest Color. And no, they're both movies actually. This one's a movie as well. And I haven't seen the movie, but I did like the comic, or the graphic novel. I've also obviously read Mouse, The Complete Mouse, and The Complete Persepolis, and really enjoyed those. And I'm glad that I have opened my eyes to graphic novels, because with graphic novels and manga, I'm kind of hesitant to spend my money there because you read them so quickly. Like with a book, it's easier to spend $5 or something, or even 10, because I'm cheap, because you're going to spend, and I'm a slow reader, so I know I'm going to spend hours reading that. But you can never find graphic novels you can almost never find graphic novels used, so you have to pay full price, and you get a fraction of the reading time. So I don't know, I just haven't read. Okay, it's already 12 minutes. But I'm glad that I started reading them anyway. I also The Walking Dead The Walking Dead is also Image Comics, which I recommend you would read even if you don't like zombies, because it's an interesting conversation about civilization after shit hits the fan. So I really like that. There's also a bonus question, which is, what is your favorite flower? Now that this video is only 13 minutes, I might do a quick tour of the garden. The previous version was 20 minutes. So let's go do that real quick. We're on the ground. I got this 2 days ago, maybe yesterday. It is a cordyline. Oh my god. There are weeds. Oh my god, you can see it. When I got this 2 days ago, there was none of this. There were 2 tiny little sprouts. That shit has taken off. This is a cordyline. It's native to Hawaii and that like whole Western Pacific area, like Australia, Indonesia, I think. This has ivy in it, as well as violets and foliage. This is actually my favorite flower. It's an orchid, but the blooms are gone right now, and I had to trim it back so they would grow more. There's one outside that is in bloom that I will show you now. The sun is very bright, but this is my cactus, which has this like half and half look going on. It's dark green at the top half. Those are the orchids that are in bloom. Aren't they pretty? I hope you can see them. I will try to bring you closer. Yay. And then these are my succulents. I don't know what any of them are called, except this is an aloe plant that seems to be dying. So after I put it outside, oddly enough, because it had been on top of the cabinets getting no sun whatsoever or water, and it was doing fine. These are begonias. There are 2 actually. And I planted them on top of my tulip bulbs because I'm stupid. So, also peace lily, which has no blooms. Bromeliad, which is a tropical flower. And behind it is a rose-scented geranium, which does nothing functionally. It looks like it'd be an herb, but it's not. But it smells like roses if you touch it, so fun times. I can't see anything, so thank you for watching. I will see you again soon.